All right, so here I go. I'm gonna try to make this as quick as I possibly can. I don't think this can actually be a quick video because what I'm doing here, it's been a long time since I've actually made a video, and the reason for that is because I'm shadow banned, and I figure what's the point if the powers that be don't allow you to be heard by anyone, if they're going to shadow ban you so that no one can see your video or hear what you have to say, what's the point? Because you got to put time into making these videos. It takes time to make these videos, and that's time spent out of your day. And I've got a business I'm trying to run, and it's a pressure washing business. We do carpet cleaning as well, and that takes up most of my time. But I did want to, and then on top of that, I'm trying to prep. I'm a prepper. I don't identify. I identify myself first as a follower of the Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, who a lot of people are still calling by the name Jesus, which is not his name. But I'm not going to get into all that. I'm not going to get into that subject right now. Right now, what I want to do is I just want to share with you guys something that has to do with prepping. Has nothing to do with pressure washing. Has nothing to do with everything has to do with my faith in the Messiah, in the Mashiach. Everything that I do has to do with my faith in Him. But I want to talk today about a couple of things that I picked up. One of them being this Baofeng still here. I just recently picked up because I figured I got it. I picked up this handheld cranking radio deal here. This has a crank on it, and I should have probably unplugged it, but I'm not going to because I don't want to. Well, yeah, I'll just unplug it for right now so I can show you guys. I picked up, oops, it's got a flashlight on it. I picked up one of these. It's a handheld radio, and it actually has a, hold on, it actually has a crank on it. You can see here, got a crank, and you can crank this radio, handheld crank radio. So I picked this up in case something happens, grid goes down, power's out or whatever, which I don't really have to worry too much about that, I don't think, because I think I've covered my bases on that. This is just my security monitor here for my security cameras that I have. That's the monitor. You can't really probably see it very well on here, but I also picked up this thing here. In addition to the handheld crank radio, I picked up this bad boy here, and it's a Baofeng. Now let me grab my glasses. That's what happens when you get old, folks. Don't ever get old, young people. Hear my warning. But I picked up this baby here, and it's just a Baofeng ham radio. And it comes with this nice big, I'll sit it over there, I'll sit it over here, because I guess apparently you got to be careful where you set these things. You can't, it says something in the instructions about not putting them near a heater, near a heat source to charge and all that kind of stuff. And comes with this handy dandy little booklet, which is, something to read, which I will have to read before I was fooling around with it a little bit, but it's just a ham radio. And if the grid goes down, it's, in my opinion, it's smart to have something like this. I have invested a lot of money into, well, I don't know, a lot of money for me. A lot of people might not consider it a lot of money, but to me, I've invested quite a bit of money into my solar system. And I figured, if you're going to have a solar system, you want to protect that solar system. So what I did was I got in touch with the people at this place here, EMP Shield. So I got a hold of these people because what I have for my needs, we all have different needs, but for my needs, I live in an RV. I have a 35-foot fifth wheel with a couple of slide outs. Got a slide out in the bedroom, queen size bed, and then I got a super slide for the living room and the dining room that slides out. And for me, it's plenty of room. It's spacious, and I'm grateful that that I have this place, to hang my hat. But you hear a lot of people nowadays talking about, the possibility of an EMP attack from wherever. we really have to watch what we say. We live in a country where we're supposed to be guaranteed freedom of speech. And they try to say that, oh, that's the government can't deny your freedom of speech. But no one can deny your freedom of speech. No one has the right, whether it's a private business, I don't care who it is. If you're a private business and you want to conduct business in the United States of America, you're not allowed to violate anybody's freedom. I don't give a damn if you're a private company or not. You can't do business in this country and violate people's right to freedom of speech. And the big tech companies, I guess, because our government is so very corrupt, they allow the big tech companies, and I'm not going to name them off, you know who the big tech companies are, and they're violating our rights to freedom of speech. And they're prepping us to be prepared, to have our freedom to speak freely, our freedom of speech, taken away from us. This is what they're prepping us for. They're prepping us to take it. But anyway, I digress a little bit. I got one of these for my needs, because I do live in a fifth wheel. I needed something that would protect me from an EMP, that would protect all my devices that I have, because I have, my security cameras, I've got my laptops, I've got my television, I've got all the standard things that most people nowadays have to get along in life. And I wanted to do whatever I could to, ensure that, my devices would be protected in the event of an EMP attack, by some enemy, foreign or domestic, or both. And they give you this little sticker thing, which is kind of cool. I don't know what I'll do with that, but I'll figure out something. I'll find something to do with it. And then they give you a bunch of papers here. And this one here, a single solar system installation. And so they even, this is the solar charger that I have. That's the charge controller that I have. And they even give you the instructions how to wire it in, and which I think is really, really cool that they do that. And it shows you that you have to ground it out here, and it shows you where to connect it into your solar controller. So that's kind of cool. I will use this to connect this into my solar controller that is outside underneath this in the storage underneath the RV, on the underside of the RV. It's in the RV, but in the storage area underneath is where I have my battery bank and my solar controller and my input-output device. They also sent me, if installing in a vehicle, which it's an RV, it's not like a car or anything, but they give you instructions of how to install it, which is really easy, because it just, from what the guy told me on the phone, you just clamp it on to your battery. Well, the battery that I have, not the battery bank for the solar, but the battery that powers like the lights in the RV and everything, you have a battery in your RV that, it controls, it runs certain things like the lights and the things like that in the RV. So you just clamp it on there. What are the wires for? Red, positive, black, negative, green, ground wires. So they give you a positive, negative, and a ground wire. Tools needed: a wrench, socket wrench may work best, it says, and that's it. Assemble all tools listed below. That's the only tool that you'll need. And it's really simple, because you just clamp it onto, and I'm going to show you this stuff here in a minute, but I'm just going over what this stuff says. I also wanted to protect all my devices in here in case of an EMP attack, because, all your stuff is going to be fried. You have a computer, you have a television, you have all this electronic stuff in your home. Well, that's all going to be fried if we have an EMP attack. And this other one here that they sent me is a regular outlet. This is a GFI outlet, and this one is a regular outlet. So it says do not connect it to the GFI outlet, connect it to the regular outlet. So that's what I will do. And this device just simply plugs into, your outlet. Plug in the EMP shield into a non-GFI outlet, and the entire 110-volt electrical phase will be protected. So, in other words, when you plug this into your wall socket, any outlet in the house, it's going to protect everything else in the house that's plugged in. So everything that's plugged in your home is going to be protected by the EMP shield. Now, I know you're probably wanting to get a look at what all came. So this is kind of an unboxing, because I haven't really taken this stuff out of the packages yet. But this one is the one that you plug into the wall. Okay, you just plug it into any outlet, which I am going to do here shortly, momentarily. I'm going to plug this into the outlet. Let's see if I can get it out of here so I can show it to you guys. I may have to get up and go grab some scissors or something. Maybe I can just rip this bad boy open, but chances are I'll probably have to grab some scissors. Maybe not. It seems to be ripping open pretty easily for me here. Yeah, I think I'll be able to do this without having to go grab scissors. Let's just see what we got as we unwrap this thing. And I apologize for this is not the greatest quality video. I'm not a videographer. I'm a pressure washing guy and a carpet cleaning guy. But I did, again, like I say, I wanted to make this video because I know that, people are concerned about. Now, this thing actually comes with a little power strip of its own that you can plug things into. And I'm pretty sure you don't have to plug in like everything, but I'm going to plug this right here into the wall, and I'm going to plug my power strip into it that has all this other stuff plugged into it. But once I plug this in the wall, everything else in the house, from what the guy told me on the phone, should be protected. And this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. You plug this into the wall, and I guess you can plug other stuff in here, obviously. But I don't think things have to be plugged into this to be protected. From what the guy said on the phone, and I'm going to follow up and check on that, but from what the guy told me on the phone, anything plugged into your home is going to be protected. Because, I mean, obviously you got stuff in the bedroom, you got stuff in the kitchen, you got stuff, all over the house, and you're not going to be able to plug everything into this. So, although I would give it a shot if that's what it took. Anyway, we got this, and this is going to protect all my devices that are plugged in to the house here. So, what else have we got? This is the device, I believe. Oh, yeah. This one is the one that you connect to the your battery. And this also works for a vehicle, for a car. That's actually what it's for, to protect the, you connect it to your battery in your car. But if you have an RV, it's the same principle. You just plug it into, you just connect it to your RV battery. And again, not to be confused with your my solar battery bank, but just the battery that powers the lights in the RV. And this is pretty simple right here. This actually couldn't be much simpler. You're just going to connect the hot wire and the ground. The hot wire, the negative, positive, and negative, and then ground it. You're just going to ground it. So you got 3 little connections, and there's the device. And this thing is it's substantial. This is you can feel this is heavy and it's substantial. It's not just a little cheap, gadget. This is you can tell this thing is electronically sound, and it's got this deal here on the bottom. I guess it's an adhesive that I can attach it somewhere. So that's what I'm going to use for my battery, for the RV battery. And then this one is the one I will connect to my solar controller to protect my solar panels, as well as my solar controller and everything that is connected to the solar. The input-output device, the solar panels, the controller, everything's going to be protected by this device here. So this is what this one looks like. And again, very simple, easy to follow instructions for installation on this stuff. This is not rocket science. It's a very simple connection. But here's again, you've got your positive, and you got your negative, and you got your ground right there. It's just 3 wires that you connect, and you just ground it out, and you're good to go. You just put this on anything, connect this green one to anything metal to ground it out, and you're good to go. And here's what it looks like. This again, this one is for the solar. This one is for your solar system that you would put on there, and that's what that looks like. And again, very simple, easy to follow instructions for connecting these things. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today. And if you're interested in seeing, here, let me just show you guys what the things that I am trying to protect in my RV here. If I can flip this around, maybe I can show you guys what I am. Oh, hold on a second here. There we are. I think. Wait a minute. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. No, that's not gonna. Here, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Let's just flip this baby around like this and see if this will work better. How about that? Will that work? Is that working? Okay, yeah. Let's do it like this. Okay. Obviously, I have my laptop here, and I've got my security. All of my DVR that records underneath. That's what the radio's sitting on there, is a DVR, and that records everything that my security cameras see. I've got quite a few things down there that are plugged in, and then down here there's another power strip that has appliances and things plugged in. I've got obviously my television and whatever other devices that I've got up here, and just like most people, other devices that are plugged in. Now, I went and got an extra air conditioning unit. Oh wait, here I've got a food dehydrator. I've been dehydrating chicken and hamburger and stuff like that. I've just been dehydrating lots of meat and vegetables and stuff like that. I have an extra air conditioning unit that I keep on low. I've got my big Berkey here that I set in front of this little 8-wall AC unit. I don't have it sticking out of the wall. I just have the window open, and I've got it sealed off so that the hot air is blowing out. And this thing works really well. I have my big Berkey sitting in front of it because it actually makes the water cold, and I like to drink cold water. Have my AC on the roof, but I don't like to run it on high because it puts a kind of a big strain on it. And so I don't like to really put a big strain on my AC. Plus, it's more expensive to run the one on the roof than it is to run this one. Now, I went to the store, to Walmart the other day. I know prices are going up on everything, and you're in trouble if your AC goes out. If both of these ACs went out. So I went up to look and see if they had some more window unit ACs. Sure enough, they had some, but they were like $400 or $500, and I was like, wow, I don't want to pay that much for a window unit AC. Well, they had 2 of them left that were 150 some bucks. So I snatched one of those up, 5,000 BTUs, which that's what this one is over here. And if anything ever happened, I would at least have and this one does a pretty good job of cooling down in here because I run fans. You can see I have a fan here. I've got a fan there. And, normally everything that I run, except for the AC units, I run off of solar power. How do I do that? Okay, well, first of all, you have to have solar panels. And what I did was I installed I set my solar panels up outside. And I just set them up out there, and I connect them. I'll show you where I connect those at. But I ran the wires. Move, pup. My puppy's in the way. I ran my wires in through here. You can see right there where that wire's coming in, and they run up here to this power inverter right here. And the power inverter, I have power strips connected. This one goes to the bedroom. This one runs over there. And when I want to disconnect from the grid power, I just simply go here, and I think you can probably see down in here. Let me see if you can see down in there. Yeah, hopefully you can see. See, I just disconnect this wire, and I plug it into the, oops, sorry. I plug it into the inverter here, and that takes me off of grid power and puts me on solar power. And as far as the television, I unplug that and I plug it into this green wire that I have here on the ground here, this one there. I plug it into there, and then I also unplug this one here. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. I unplug this, and I also plug that in there as well. And that way, everything switches over to solar. I guess my puppy wants to go outside. I'm going outside because I'm going to show you guys where I've got. Oh, when the sun's out, I'm going to go ahead and set up my. So you going to come? Come on. Come on. Okay, so we walk out here, and I'll show you. Hopefully, if this is not locked, and it is locked. Okay, and I didn't bring my keys. Okay, let's walk back inside for a second so I can grab my keys. Maybe we can finish this thing up. I don't want to take all day showing you guys this stuff, but this is what I did, man, because they keep talking about EMPs and power outages. So I wanted to protect myself a little bit. So I went ahead and I invested in some solar. Now, what have I got solar-wise? Sorry for the bouncing around and everything. But again, you know, I'm not a professional video making guy. I'm just trying to share some information with you guys because I think it's well worth, you know, I bought 5 acres of land down in, it's down towards El Paso in Hudspeth County, near Del City. I bought 5 acres down there. It's undeveloped land, and but the thing is, I bought a water well drilling kit and pump, and so I'm going to go down there, and I bought one of those things that you can hold, and it'll show you where water is. So I got one of those as well. What we got here is I've got 4 solar panels, and I don't know if you can see these here. Let me show them to you there. I have 4 solar panels right there, and the solar panels plug into, and I'll show you this right now. Just follow me over here. The solar panels I plug in, and I connect them here. I got lots of keys. Sorry about all that, but here we are. I'll show you guys this and share that. Because I think it's something that is it's well worth doing. Now, here's what I got for my solar. Let me see if you guys can see this. Okay, for my solar, I did have this. I was using these for my battery bank. These are 35 amp hour batteries right here. 35 amp hours is not a lot, okay? You have a total, I got 3 of these batteries from Harbor Freight. They're only 35 amp hours each, which is a total of like 101 amp hours, not a lot. I upgraded that, and I have in my cargo trailer, which I'll show you here. I upgraded twice, actually. I upgraded to this system, and I'm just gonna come and open it here. I'm not gonna unlock the whole big door thing, but bear with me, guys. Again, you know, I apologize, but I'm doing the best I can here. You know, I am not a professional by any means. You know, I'm not a professional videographer or video maker. I'm not a professional YouTuber. In fact, I don't even make videos anymore. I stopped making them, like I said, because YouTube shadow bans me. But probably 20 or 30 people will see this video before they take it down, just because they take down everything I do. Now here, turn this light on for you. Here in my cargo trailer, I put 35 here. Let me show you this real quick. I put on the roof of this cargo trailer, I hope you can see that, I have 300 watts of solar panels up there. I installed 300 watts of solar panels on my roof of my cargo trailer. And those solar panels power everything in this RV. Here is my battery bank, and it's just right here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but under here, that's my battery bank. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you this. Anyway, it's down there, and it's kind of dark. I don't know if you can probably see it, but I have 3 100 amp hour Windy Nation batteries. So I've got a battery bank in here of 300 amp hours of battery power. And here's my 1500 watt inverter. I put a plug here so that I can plug in an extension cord when I want to use shore power. I just plug in an extension cord on the outside of the trailer, and then I plug in the power strips that I have in here. These power strips, you can see right here, I have power strips that power all my electrical. I have a power strip there, and I've got one over here as well. And this is where I get the power to power the microwave, the mini fridge. I've got, I don't know if you can see that either, but got a mini fridge in here. Because when we go out and do pressure washing, so here's my pressure washing machine. It's my 50-gallon water buffer tank. I have a pantry full of food back there, and of course over here on the other side, that's where I've got down on the bottom, I've got my gasoline cans and all my chemicals over there. All my canned foods that I bought to store for emergencies, I've got over on the right side. That's all the food, and on the left side is where I keep all my chemicals. I keep them very well separated, so I don't want to hear any static about that. Here's all my wands, extension wands, regular wands, so on and so forth. I keep one of my laptops in here, and it's all powered by the solar. I have 300 watts of solar on the roof, and I have another 100-watt solar panel here in case I just need an extra boost of power. But now, the 300 amp hour batteries, 3 100-watt Windy Nation batteries that I have. I didn't want to take them out of the cargo trailer because I'm happy with this setup here. It gives me electricity, in my mobile RV, my mobile cargo trailer pressure washing business. It gives me electricity. I can, I don't have to go anywhere for lunch. I have a mini fridge in there. I've got plenty of food in there. I got a microwave in there. So my helper and I, we can just pull out. I got a table and chairs in there, and we just bust out the table and chairs and we cook our food in the microwave. And we keep our cold drinks in the fridge, and that's that. So I upgraded to those 3 Windy Nation batteries from these 3 Harbor Freight batteries, because these Harbor Freight batteries, that's only 105 amp hours of battery power. That's 300 amp hours of battery power I got in there. Well, for my RV, I wanted to beef it up a little bit, so I got these Renogy batteries, and these are 200 amp hours each. So this is 400 amp hours of battery power that I have to run things in the RV. And I just take and connect them, the 4 solar panels that I showed you in my shed. I keep them in the shed. I just bust them out, set them up, and I connect them. I connect them up with these wires here, which are plugged into my input-output device here. And the input-output device connects to the output. Well, the input, the solar panels are connected for the input, and the output is connected to the solar charger, the solar controller. And these wires here from the solar controller connect to the Renogy batteries to charge them off these solar panels. And I ran these wires through the steps inside in my RV. I ran them here. Let me close this. I tried to stock up on things here. I've got 2 cases of Mickey's. I love Mickey's malt liquor, and so I got a couple of cases there, and I've got some water stacked up in here. I don't know if you can see that, but let's see. I don't know if you can see. I've got, let me turn the light on. Yeah, it doesn't help. But yeah, you can see, got water stacked up here and there. I have 2 rows of the waters stacked up. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I've got about 10 or 12 cases of water stored. I also have, as you can see, plenty of toilet paper, plenty of paper towels. And I bought an extra air conditioner, window unit AC, in case something happens to one of the other ACs. For heat, I bought I have a gas heater that's built into the RV. But the thing about that is that thing eats up a lot of gas. That thing takes a lot of propane to run it. Now I do have, speaking of propane, I've got, I think you can see here, 1, 2, 3 of the 20-pound propane tanks there. I've got 2 full propane tanks over here, one there, 2 full 30-pound propane tanks, and I have 2 more 30-pound propane tanks that are connected into the RV on the other side over there. So I have a total of 4. I've got a total of 4 30-pound propane tanks and 3 20-pound propane tanks. Now, in the wintertime, right now we're in the summertime and it's going to get hot. But in the wintertime, for heat, because if I use the propane for the heater that is built into the RV, it sucks that propane, it'll suck it up in a few days. But I have cut a hole in the bottom, and I have you see this little deal here? I can connect one of those little 20-pound propane tanks, and I have a My Buddy heater inside that I connect the other end of that hose. I connect it to the My Buddy heater inside. And that My Buddy heater, it'll run for a couple of months, depending on how much I use it. But I use the My Buddy heater, and I have a couple of little electric heaters that I run. And the couple of little electric heaters that I run, along with the My Buddy heater, I will usually, if I'm connected, because the electrical heaters that I have, they don't suck up a lot of power and they don't cost a lot to run. You know, my electric bill is not jacked up because of those the electric heaters. But the My Buddy heater, even if I use that only by itself,